You know I always am, dude. Now then, let's get this show on the road. Hello everybody, I'm Zero and welcome back to Zero Reviews. Today we'll be talking about ants. Ant-Man! So Ant-Man went through an interesting bit of development before we saw it in 2015. You see, Edgar Wright was supposed to be the main writer in this, but left in May 2014 due to creative differences. So obviously with that you'd be a bit wary since they'd have to rewrite the script and such. And to be honest here, the film took a drastic change in direction due to the rewrite, but I thought it was a decent take. Sure, we could have had a possibly better film, but I greatly enjoyed it. But you want to know why I also greatly enjoyed it? It was because of the costume. Just look at that Ant-Man costume, it looks glorious. And I also have some slight bias because it looks like he could be a Kamen Rider Ant-Man. Like seriously. His design reminds me greatly of the bug-themed Kamen Rider suits of old. So yes, you can already tell this recommends will have some bias. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. In the 1980s, scientist Hank Pym resigns from S.H.I.E.L.D. in order to protect the secret that is the Ant-Man shrinking technology, since they kinda want to replicate it. He vows to keep it a secret as long as he lives. Skip to present day, and Hank has been kicked out of his own company by his old protege Darren Cross, and his own daughter, Hope Van Dyne. Soon enough, he finds out that Darren is actually close to replicating the Ant-Man tech with a shrinking suit of his own, the Yellow Jacket. Hank doesn't like this at all. Not only is this new suit going to be perfected and finished, but it is also planned to be sold off along with the blueprints in order to be mass-produced. Needless to say that Hank needs a plan in order to get the Yellow Jacket suit away from Darren as well as the blueprints. So, in comes Scott Lang, just released from prison. He was a well-meaning thief who got busted and put into jail for stealing from a major company. He has a strained relationship with his ex-wife and her new husband, but wants to try and be there for his daughter. Of course, Hank eventually meets with Scott and wants him to become the new Ant-Man in order to stop the Yellow Jacket suit from being sold and mass-produced. So that's the basic plot in a nutshell, and let me tell you, it is a fun ride. As with all the Marvel films, it has its mix of humor and drama, and for a first outing like with Ant-Man, it works well. To be honest, I enjoyed it more than Avengers Age of Ultron, and it was probably because it was back to basics mostly. I say mostly because we still have the presence of S.H.I.E.L.D., Hydra, and the Avengers there. To be fair though, it wasn't like it was a big Avenger, it's Falcon, and to be fair to Falcon, they did create a good little fight scene between him and Ant-Man, so I'll give them that. But like I said, it's simple. It tries to stand on its own and only passingly references the Avengers. Not to mention, the shrinking gimmick of Ant-Man makes for some pretty interesting set pieces and fight scenes. As for characters, Scott Lang is a pretty entertaining guy and I can really feel for him. His motivation in this movie isn't trying to fight for some big cause or fight to save the world. He's doing what he does in order to create a new life for himself and to find redemption. I really like this take for a character, and I feel he stands out compared to someone like Tony Stark or Steve Rogers. Hank Pym takes on the role as mentor for Scott in order for him to be well prepared and well adept at using the Ant-Man suit. He's a guy with a troubled past and of course is worried about the future due to the looming completion of the Yellow Jacket suit. As such, he can be a bit brash and impulsive from time to time. Hope Van Dyne is the daughter of Hank Pym and is actually on her father's side despite kicking him out of the company. Though of course the two have a strained relationship, her character development is simple and understandable. She's qualified for the role of Ant-Man and would probably be a better user of the suit, but she is still denied the right to do so for reasons. And to be honest, I've seen this character before somewhat, so because of that she is more of a supporting role, but she still does play a major part as she is Hank's inside eyes inside his own company since, you know, he's no longer welcome there. Darren Cross, he's pretty much Obadiah Stane 2.0. Remember Stane? Ironmonger, had that really cool fight in the end of Iron Man 1, but nothing else. Well, the same can be said for Darren. His entire character is,
I despise Hank Pym because he didn't allow me to be his successor, so now I'm going to make my own cool shrinking suit just to spite him.
I'll be the first to admit that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a hard time in terms of coming up with interesting villains. I know a lot of these guys are only one and done movie villains, but come on, put a bit more effort into the character. So as for presentation and music, the presentation is nice and I enjoyed how they showed off the shrinking gimmick here and used it to its fullest potential. Other than that, it's the standard for Marvel movies at this point. The Ant-Man suit was greatly crafted. Of course it looks old since it's from the 1980s, but it also invokes that old-styled hero motif. The Yellow Jacket suit is definitely more modern made, and while it does look cool, it tries to go for that minimalistic sleek approach, but ends up looking a bit dull with the color choices. Admittedly though, it's probably also because the Yellow Jacket suit is pretty much fully CGI. Sorry Yellow Jacket, Kamen Rider the Bee, you are not. The music, however, manages to become some of my favorite background music in a Marvel movie to date. While of course Guardians of the Galaxy had its awesome mix, though those are more so songs than background music. Guardians had the whimsical space adventure down, while Ant-Man has the sneaky fun aspect to it, as this isn't only a superhero movie, but a heist comedy as well. Also, I really enjoy Ant-Man's main theme. It's pretty catchy and you should look it up when you get the chance. Now overall, Ant-Man is a back-to-basics, enjoyable superhero movie. Sure, there are some problems with it, and it continues the trend of the MCU villains being boring, but I can't lie when I say that I enjoyed it, and I'm sure you guys would enjoy it too. So I'm definitely recommending this one. It's out on DVD and Blu-ray, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. I have to admit, Ant-Man would make a pretty cool Kamen Rider. Anyway, I'm Zero, this was Zero Reviews, and I'll be seeing you guys next time.
社会史のあいつが手縫いを塗り替えたカンカンカンと響いたあいつの足音形勢は深くて今してどん